There's something magical about warm white fairy lights strung across a porch, their soft glow like fireflies bottled in glass. For me, they weren't just decoration, they were a signature, a gentle, whimsical invitation that reminded everyone who passed by that light lives here, even when days get dark. I live in the heart of Maple Glade, a picturesque neighborhood that boasts manicured lawns, tidy hedges, and unfortunately, one of the most aggressive homeowners associations this side of the state. And while I normally don't ruffle feathers, the twinkling lights on my front awning became a battlefield. The trouble began on a calm Tuesday evening, about 2 weeks before our city's beloved Maplewood Arts and Lantern Festival, the very event I've directed for the past 6 years. As I sipped chamomile tea on my porch, a white SUV pulled up, and out stepped Karen Millstone, the HOA secretary. Clipboard in hand, lips pursed like a lemon wedge. "Evening, Miss Wren," she called, squinting up at the soft lights above my door. "Evening," I replied, polite but wary. Karen never dropped by without trouble close behind. "I'm afraid your twinkle lights are in direct violation of Section 7B of the HOA lighting code. Non-seasonal decorative lighting must be removed within 48 hours of installation." I blinked. These have been up since early spring. And besides, I filed a decor modification request 2 months ago. Approved. She flipped her clipboard. "Not in our records. You'll be fined $250 for code violation and light pollution." Light pollution? Karen, they're fairy lights, not floodlights. She sniffed. "They're distracting." I could have fought her right then, but instead I smiled. I had a better plan. What Karen didn't know, what none of the board knew, was that those exact fairy lights were part of the official promotional design for this year's citywide festival. Each participating home and business was being encouraged to display similar lights in support of the theme. Luminescence, a celebration of community through light. As festival director, I had secured sponsorships, permits, and partnerships with both the city and regional arts council. The campaign included televised features, local business tie-ins, and an entire street in Old Maple Glade that would be closed for live music and lantern walks. And yes, those lights were in every PR photo and official guidebook. I waited until Friday when the HOA met in the community rec room. I arrived not in my usual hoodie and jeans, but in my official festival director attire. Sleek navy dress, city badge on a lanyard, and a stack of glossy brochures under my arm. Karen was mid-rant about light discipline when I walked in. She stopped, blinking at me. "I'd like to address the board," I said, smiling calmly. "Ms. Wren," the president said hesitantly, "this is about—" "Yes," I interrupted. "The fairy lights. The same lights featured in our city's largest arts and cultural event, sponsored by the mayor's office, the State Arts Commission, and your own community tourism board." Gasps. I handed out the brochures pointing to page 3. "That's my house, featured in the event brochure, local TV spot, and on the city's official Instagram. We encourage all residents to display similar lights to show their support." Karen's face turned the color of undercooked salmon. I continued. "By fining me, the HOA is, in essence, fining the city. And if you're concerned about policy, I'd be happy to connect you with the mayor's liaison. We've worked closely on this." Silence. The board scrambled. The president leaned over to Karen, whispering harshly. Within minutes, the fine was rescinded, and an apology was issued for miscommunication and procedural oversight. They even asked if I'd consider including the HOA in next year's event. I did on one condition: they hang fairy lights at the rec center. The festival that year was a glowing success. Thousands strolled through Maple Glade, marveling at lanterns, illuminated sculptures, and yes, twinkling fairy lights. Even Karen's house had a tasteful strand above the garage. Now every spring, when I hang those lights, I smile knowing they represent more than decoration. They're a reminder that a little light and the right job title goes a long way.